Children, I hope you have gone through my previous video, and today we will continue further. Now, children, in the chapter electrochemistry, we will now proceed further. We have to study about dependence of electrodes and cell potentials on concentration. That is the Nernst equation. Now see, for a general electrode reaction, we normally write Mn plus n electrons gives M. Okay, the Nernst equation is E Mn plus slash M is equal to E0 of Mn plus slash M minus RT upon Nf log concentration of M upon concentration of M plus, or E Mn plus slash M is equal to E0 Mn plus slash M minus, when you put the values, you get 2.303 RT upon Nf log to the base 10 concentration of M upon concentration of Mn plus. Now in this equation, you see what you have done, from log you have changed it to log to the base 10, then this value becomes multiplied by 2.303. Now if in this case you substitute the value of R, you know R is the gas constant, 8.314 joules per Kelvin meter per second, and T is, if you substitute T with 298 Kelvin and F with 96,500 coulombs, then the Nernst equation at 25 degrees Celsius becomes E Mn plus slash M is equal to E0 Mn plus slash M minus 0.0591 upon N log to the base 10 M upon Mn plus. Alright. As concentration of solids phase M is taken as unity or 1, so this equation will become E Mn plus slash M is equal to E0 Mn plus slash M minus 0.0591 upon N log to the base 10. This concentration will become 1, so 1 upon concentration of Mn plus. E Mn plus slash M is equal to E0 Mn plus slash M minus 0.0591, so it becomes plus 0.0591 upon N log to the base M concentration of Mn plus. You have brought this Mn plus up, so the sign over here will change from minus to plus. Okay. Now next is calculation of cell potential using Nernst equation. Now if you have to calculate the cell potential, E of a cell is given by E0 of cathode minus E0 anode minus 0.0591 upon N log to the base 10 concentration of products upon concentration of reactants, or you can write concentration of anode ion concentration upon cathode ion concentration, or in its place you can also write reduced state concentration upon oxidized state concentration, or you can write cathode ion concentration upon anode ion concentration. But in that case, because you've taken cathode up and brought anode down, so here the sign will change. It will become plus, E cell will become E0 cathode minus E0 anode plus 0.0591 upon N log to the base 10 cathode ion concentration upon anode ion concentration. If you change the numerator and denominator, then the sign will also change. Now if the EMF of the cell, E cell, is positive, the electrochemical cell works spontaneously. Okay. Now in general, for an electrochemical cell reaction, we have AA plus BB gives CC plus DD. In that case, E cell is equal to E0 cathode minus E0 anode minus 0.0591 upon N log to the base 10 C to the power C, D to the power D upon A to the power A, small a, and B to the power small b, where small a, b, c, d and n are obtained from the balanced cell reaction. Next we move on to concentration cells. A cell in which both the electrodes are of same type but the solution of electrolyte in which they are dipped have different concentrations is called as concentration cell. Like see for example here Cu/CuSO4 concentration C1 and here CuSO4 concentration C2/Cu. So electrode in both the cases are copper, but here we have an electrolyte is also the same CuSO4, but here the electrolyte CuSO4 has concentration C1 and in this case CuSO4 has concentration C2. So concentration is different, so they are called as concentration cell. In this case EMF of cell E cell will be equal to minus 2.303 RT upon NF log to the base 10 C2 upon C1. Now for positive EMF, it implies if the value is positive then C2 will be greater than Cn, so the cell reaction will be feasible. Okay, so this is concentration cell. Numericals are asked from this chapter for calculating the EMF or E cell. Now next is equilibrium concentration, equilibrium constant from Nernst equation. Now the cell reaction, suppose if it is x plus y n plus gives you xn plus plus y, and E cell for this case if it is 0.00 volts. Now using the Nernst equation we have E cell is equal to E0 cell minus 0.0591 upon n log to the base 10 concentration of xn plus upon concentration of yn plus. So E cell is given 0 is equal to E0 cell minus 0.0591 upon n log to the base 10 Kc, where Kc is the equilibrium constant of the reaction. You know that concentration of product upon concentration of reaction, that is the equilibrium constant. Or it can be written as E0 cell is equal to 0.0591 upon n log to the base 10 Kc at 298 Kelvin, or log 10 Kc is equal to n E cell E0 of cell upon 0.0591. Simply you have taken the things towards this side at 298 Kelvin. The high value of Kc indicates that the above reaction goes to almost completion. And if you have to find the pH of solution, pH is given by the formula E cell upon 0.0591. Next is cell potential and Gibbs free energy. Now in case of an electrochemical cell, electrical work done is equal to N into F, and E cell is decrease in free energy. See, work done is NF E cell, and which is equal to decrease in free energy. So decrease in free energy can be given by the symbol delta G, and this is equal to minus NF E cell, minus because it is a decrease. Now for comparing different cells, standard cell potentials or E0 are used. Then corresponding free energy changes represented as delta G0 to the power 0. So delta G0 is given by NFE0 of cell. Also we know that E0 of cell is equal to minus 2.33 RT upon NF log 10 Kc. So substituting the value in the above equation, we get minus delta G0 is equal to NF 2.303 RT upon NF log 10 Kc. NF will get cancelled out. So you will get delta G0 is equal to minus 2.303 RT log 10 Kc. Alright, for a cell reaction to be spontaneous, delta G must be negative. It must have a negative value, then only this reaction will take place spontaneously. Next is conductance of electrolytic solutions. Now, substances which allow passage of current through themselves are called conductors, and this process is called as electrical conductance. Now, there may be electronic conductors or electrolytic conductors. Electronic conductors conduct electricity through free electrons and conduct current through free electrons, and electrolytic conductors, they conduct through ions. Now, based on the extent of dissociation, the electrolytes are either strong electrolytes or weak electrolytes. Like metallic conductors, electrolytic solutions also obey the Ohm's law, which says V is equal to IR, and R is indirectly proportional to A. That is, R is proportional to 1 upon A. So, where this is the length and A is the cross section area. Okay. So, R can be written as R is equal to P dot L upon A, where this P, actually it is rho, not P. Rho is the specific resistance or resistivity, and its unit is ohm centimeter or ohm meter in SI system. Now, the ratio of this small l upon A is known as cell constant. So, again, conductance is equal to 1 upon R. Conductance is reciprocal of resistance. So, 1 upon R. The unit of G are ohm to the power minus 1 or mho or Siemens. Okay, resistance and conductance, they are inversely proportional. So, G is equal to, conductance is given as G. So, G is equal to 1 upon R. Next is conductivity. The inverse of resistivity, rho, is called conductivity or specific conductance. Now, it is represented by a symbol K, and where it is, that's just a minute, this is not here. Okay, that slide is missing, but I'll explain to you that it is given by K. So, K is equal to 1 upon rho, or K is equal to 1 upon R into 1 upon A. Why? Because if you see here, if you look at the value of rho over here, so rho is equal to R into A, and conductivity is 1 upon rho, so it will become 1 upon R into A. Sorry, L into A. There is a confusion. This is L, 1 upon L into A. So, rho is equal to R A upon L, and 1 upon rho will become equal to L upon R into A. Unit of conductivity may be ohm to the power minus 1, centimeter to the minus 1. Okay, and in SI unit it will be this is an SI unit only. Okay, conductivity of a solution decreases with dilution. Now next is molar conduction or molar conductivity, which is given by lambda m. Now molar conductivity, it is the conducting power of all the ions produced by dissolving 1 mole of electrolyte dissolved in V centimeter cube of solution and placing the solution between 1 centimeter apart electrodes, and the area of electrode is large enough to contain whole of the solution. So it is expressed as lambda m is equal to, this is the K, this is the symbol for conductivity, into V in milliliters. So lambda m is K into 1000 upon C, where C is the molar concentration. So if C is the units of molarity, then lambda m is equal to K into 1000 upon m. Unit of lambda m is ohm to the power minus 1 centimeter square mole to the power minus 1, or S m square mole to the power minus 1. S is for specific conductivity. Now next is equivalent conductance or equivalent conductivity. Now this is power of all the ions produced by dissolving 1 gram equivalent of an electrolyte in V centimeter cube of solution and placing the solution between electrodes which are 1 centimeter apart, and the area of electrode is large enough to contain whole of the solution. So equivalent conduction is given by the symbol lambda EQ. This is equal to conductivity into 1000 upon CEQ. So if CEQ is the unit of normality, then this can be replaced, like there it was replaced by m, here it will be normality will be replaced by n. So it will be lambda EQ is equal to K into 1000 upon n. Unit of lambda EQ is ohm to the power minus 1 centimeter square, or it can also be gram per equivalent, or ohm to the power minus 1 meter square, again gram per equivalent. The value of lambda m and lambda EQ, they increase with dilution. Electrolytic conductance of solution depends upon nature of the electrolyte that is being added, size of the ions produced and their solution, nature of solvent and its viscosity, concentration of electrolyte, and it is directly proportional to the temperature. If you increase the temperature, it will increase. Now next we come to variation of molar conductance with concentration. Now if it is a strong electrolyte, as the concentration of solution decreases or dilution increases, solution, if its concentration is decreasing, that means it is becoming more and more dilute. Molar conductivity of solution of a strong electrolyte approaches a limiting value. This limiting value of molar conductivity when concentration approaches 0 is called molar conductivity at infinite dilution. So it is given as lambda m infinite, alright, or a lambda m 0 to the power 0. Now according to Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation, lambda m is equal to lambda m infinity minus b under root c, where lambda m, it is the molar conductivity, this is the molar conductivity, this is the molar conductivity at infinite dilution, c is the concentration of solution, and b is a constant. Now for a weak electrolyte, there is a large increase in conductance with dilution, especially near infinite dilution because concentration of weak electrolyte is reduced. As the concentration reduces, more of it ionizes. Hence, extrapolation to zero concentration is not possible to determine the lambda m infinity for a weak electrolyte. The problem was finally solved by a scientist by the name of Colage, and Colage gave a law. This is called as Colrage's law. This law says that the molar conductivity at infinite dilution of electrolyte is equal to sum of whole conductance term multiplied with number of respective ions present in formula unit of electrolyte. Okay, so he gave this equation lambda m to the power infinity is equal to v plus lambda infinity plus v minus lambda infinity minus. Now, where lambda to plus infinity and lambda minus infinity are molar conductivities of cation and anion. Plus and minus is just telling you cation and anion. Alright. Of an electrolyte, and V plus and V minus are the number of cations and anions per formula of electrolyte. So, Colage law can also be said that equivalent conductivity of an electrolyte at infinite dilution is the sum of the two values, one depending upon cation and the other depending upon anion. So it can be written as lambda eq to the power infinity is equal to lambda c to the power infinity plus lambda a to the power infinity, where lambda c to the power infinity and lambda a to the power infinity are limiting ionic conductivities for cation and anion respectively. Now the Colage law is applied for a number of things. So we have to study about the application of Colage law. Now the first is for determination of lambda m infinity for weak electrolytes. For example, molar conductivity of weak electrolyte like acetic acid at infinite dilution can be determined by knowing lambda m infinity value for strong electrolyte like HCl or sodium acetate or sodium chloride. See, lambda m infinity of acetic acid is equal to lambda m infinity of HCl plus lambda m infinity of sodium acetate minus lambda m infinity of NaCl. Okay, the desired equation is lambda m infinity of acetic acid is equal to lambda m CH3COO minus plus lambda m H plus. Then lambda m infinity of HCl is equal to lambda m H plus plus lambda m to infinity of Cl minus. Same way, lambda m infinity of CH3COONA is equal to lambda m CH3COO minus infinity and lambda m Na plus to the power infinity. So this way you will get lambda m NaCl is equal to lambda m Na plus lambda m. Matlab cations and anions you have separated. So this way you can take out. Next is from these three equations 1, 2 and 3, you add 1 and 2. The first two you add and subtract the third one. So we will get lambda m infinity of CH3COOH. Add these two and subtract the third one. Alright. 1 and 2 you add and you subtract this one. So you will get the lambda m infinity of CH3COOH as lambda m infinity CH3COO minus plus lambda m infinity of H plus. So this way you can compare it with others and find out the lambda m infinity for weak electrolytes. Next application is determination of degree of dissociation of weak electrolyte. Now degree of dissociation alpha is equal to lambda mc and lambda m divided by lambda m infinity, which can be written as lambda mc upon v plus lambda plus infinity plus v minus lambda minus infinity. So in this way you can determine by using this formula the degree of dissociation of weak electrolyte. Now next we come to the quantitative aspect of electrolysis. Now in this we will first study about Faraday's laws of electrolysis. Faraday gave two laws. Faraday's first law says amount of substance liberated at a particular electrode during electrolysis is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed in the solution. So if W is the substance which is deposited at electrode, here W is deposited at electrode, on passing Q coulombs of electricity, then W is directly proportional to Q, and you know that Q can be written as IT, so W will become equal to ZIT, where Z is called the electrochemical equivalent, I you know is the current, T is the time. So if I is 1 ampere and T is 1 second, then W becomes equal to Z. So the unit of Z is grams per coulomb. Next we come to Faraday's second law of electrolysis. When same quantity of electricity is passed through the solution of different electrolytes connected in series, the masses of substances liberated at electrodes are directly proportional to their equivalent masses. What is the meaning of this? Suppose if W1 and W2 are the masses of substances liberated by passing same quantity of electricity, E1 and E2, then W1 upon W2 will be equal to E1 upon E2. Okay. Now if W1 is equal to Z1 IT and W2 is equal to Z2 IT, so you can write over here IT will get cancelled, and you can say Z1 upon Z2 is equal to E1 upon E2. Okay. So this implies that E is directly proportional to Z, or E can be written as Fz, where F is the Faraday's constant and its value is 96,500 coulombs. So on passing 1 Faraday, if F becomes 1, then W will be equal to E. Quantity of substance deposited is equal to 1 gram equivalent. So 1 Faraday is the charge carried by 1 mole of electrons. So that is why 1 Faraday is equal to, when you multiply n number of electrons n by the charge on 1 electron, n you know Avogadro's number, 6.022 into 10 to power 23 into the charge on an electron is 1.6 into 10 to power minus 19. So you get this value 96500 coulombs. Okay. Now next is products of electrolysis. Products of electrolysis depend on nature of material which is being electrolyzed and the types of electrode which is being used. For example, if we do electrolysis of NaCl, the products formed are sodium metal and chlorine gas. So at cathode what will you get? Na plus 1 electron will give you Na. Reduction will take place. At anode, Cl minus 1 electron will give you Cl. This is oxidation, and Cl will combine with another atom of Cl to give you Cl2, chlorine gas. Okay. However, if aqueous solution of NaCl is electrolyzed, products obtained will become different. You will get NaOH, Cl2 and H2. And the reactions at cathode will be Na plus 1 electron will give you Na, H plus electron will give you half H2. Okay, and the reaction with higher value of E0 is preferred. Therefore, the reaction during electrolysis is H plus electron is equal to half H2, because here in this reaction the E0 value was minus 0.271 volt, whereas in this case it was 0.0 volt. So this will be preferred. This is the reaction we will take. Alright. But H plus ions are produced by dissociation of water. Water dissociates. H2O gives H plus OH minus, isn't it? See, H2O will give you H plus OH minus. Therefore, net reaction at cathode will be H2O plus electron gives you half H2 plus OH minus. So at anode, what are the reactions which are possible? Cl minus will give you half Cl2 plus electron, and 2H2O will give you O2 plus 4H plus 4 electrons. Now E0 of this reaction was minus 1.36 volt and E0 of this reaction is minus 1.23 volt. So the reaction at anode with lower E0 value is preferred, and therefore water should be oxidized in preference to Cl minus. Sorry, these are plus, not minus. E0 cell is 1.36 volt and in this case it is 1.23. So the lower value will be preferred for anode. So this is the reaction that will take place. Okay. So the overall net reaction will become NaCl plus H2O gives you Na plus OH minus plus half H2 plus half Cl2. Now the product formed on electrolysis also depends upon the nature of electrodes. The inert electrodes function only as source or sink of electrons. However, reactive electrodes like copper participate in the reaction. For example, see here. Electrolysis of CuSO4 using copper electrode. When this takes place, CuSO4 gives you Cu2 plus SO4 2 minus. Water gives you H plus OH minus. At cathode you get the reaction Cu2 plus 2 electrons give you copper, and at anode itself will undergo loss of electrons to form Cu2 plus, which will go into solution. So Cu minus 2 electrons will give you Cu2 plus. So the ion which has higher reduction potential will be reduced first at cathode. Remember this. Like ions of magnesium. Magnesium has E0 value minus 2.37 volts, and aluminium Mg2 plus has minus 2.37 volts, and Al3 plus has E0 value minus 1.66 volt. They cannot be reduced in aqueous solution as the reduction potential is less than water. Water has reduction potential E0 is equal to minus 0.83 volt. So water will be reduced to give H2. H2O will give plus 2 electron will give you H2 plus 2 OH minus. Okay, so ions such as Cu2 plus, Ag plus, which have larger reduction potential than water, they will get reduced and precipitated at cathode. Ion which has lower reduction potential will be first oxidized at anode. For example, iodine is oxidized to I2 in aqueous solution. Okay, and then the reaction takes place because iodine has lower reduction potential than water. Fluorine ion is not oxidized to F2 in aqueous solution because of the same reason. So these are a few things which you have to remember, and in this chapter numericals can come and you might be asked to draw the electrode diagrams. So practice it and see the questions behind the chapter. Okay, this finishes this chapter.